Good morning, everybody. Working on a warm-up here on quiz day. Trying to get ready for this. We did these notes yesterday. We still have our nice parentheses with a number out front, which is reminding us that it's going to be distribution that we need to solve this question. But not only distribution, because we also have this 7x. And because we have this extra 7x here, it's not a one-step question. It's going to turn into a two-step question. We're going to need to distribute, and we're going to need to combine like terms. And what do you always do first? Distribute. You always distribute first. Nice job. So, distribute first. Always distribute first. Okay? The other thing that is really kind of something that might catch us slipping a little bit. Okay. Did I even accept it? Okay, gotcha. Looking at number 1, I drew my arrow from the 4 to the x, and I drew my arrow from the 4 to the 3, and we do not draw a third arrow from the 4 to the 7x. Why does the 7x not get an arrow? Because it's not in the parentheses, right? So hopefully, again, I was impressed with how we did yesterday. Same thing. I'm just going to totally ignore the 7x for now. 4 times x. Nice job. That's going to be 4x. 4 times 3. Yep, 12. I'm going to want to make sure that I have a plus in the middle there to keep them separated. And if this was a question from a few days ago, we'd be done. But because we have this kind of loitering 7x who's chilling and hanging out, we need to bring him or her, maybe it's a girl, bring her down to the next level. Okay? Now when we keep that 7x and it has not changed, it was not multiplied by 4, now we're going to look to combine like terms. Okay? Pretty much you shouldn't be finishing a question with 3 terms today. So, because we have 3, we're going to need to find the 2 that match. We're going to need to combine them together. So, looking at number 1, what terms match together? The 4x and the 7x. And why do they match? Because they got x's, right? I mean, obviously, because they both have x's. We don't have any negatives for this question, so nothing super scary. We just need to combine them. And here's the other place I saw some mistakes yesterday. When we use distributing, we use multiply. 4 times x, 4 times 3. But now that we combine, we are not multiplying. Now we are just doing simple adding and subtracting. We can use Desmos. Here we go. We can add them up. A 4 and a 7. You do not type the x's when you combine like terms, just the coefficients, which is a fancy word that just means numbers. And there you go. 4 plus 7 is 11. What do we do with the 12? Just bring it down. 11. I like that. Good catch. We're going to need the x on the 11. Okay? And when we finish our question, we should look at this and we should feel like there's nothing else we can do. Okay? There's no more parentheses to distribute. There's no more like terms to combine. That's it. And yeah, I think we're good. I think this is a perfect answer. Any questions on number 1? All right. The other 3, I've given you 3, not mega easy questions because you guys were doing so well yesterday. For number 3, I see that we have a distribute with a 3 out front that I'm going to need to distribute. And I also see an extra 2x and an extra y. So we have double extras. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're just going to ignore the extras, handle the distributing, and then we'll come back, we'll combine them, we'll be all right. So when I draw my arrows, how many arrows am I going to draw? 1 and 2. No arrows are going to come out here. The arrows only go to the parentheses. What is 3 times x? 3x. And here's our first negative sign of the day. What is 3 times negative 2y? I did hear the right answer, just to kind of show it happening on Desmos. 3 times negative 2, don't type the letters, is negative 6. And then what letter goes on there? A Y. Just like we talked about for the last question, we've been ignoring the extras. Now we're going to keep them. So bring down the negative 2x and bring down the plus y. That's going to give us 4 terms total, and we're pretty much, looking to have 2 terms for every question. So we got too many. We're going to look for things that can combine, things that are like terms. So like terms for this question, this is easy. 3x minus 2x. Make sure that you know it's a minus. 3 and negative 2 is going to give us positive 1x. Now normally whenever we do these questions, it always seems to be the second part that kind of just messes us up, okay? When I'm doing this second part, I see that we have negative 6y and positive y. Now when we're doing multiplying like with this x, we can just leave it as a plain x. But when we're doing combining, when we're doing adding, how many y's is this y? 1. Right, this is 1y. And so if you need to write this 1, then write it down. That is our 1y. We're going to combine these together. Negative 6y and positive 1y. Exactly. If you're losing by 6 and you score a point, now you're losing by 5. Just to show that on Desmos, if we had negative 6 y's and we added 1, we have negative 5. All right, we kept our y. Does that answer look good? I think it looks good. Okay. Now yesterday, I showed you guys a question like number 3, and I even put a box on it, and I wrote important or something like that on here. Okay. Number 3, this is the, ultimate distribute test. Okay. Even though it looks a lot easier than number 2, and it looks a lot easier than number 4, this always traps the students who are not paying attention, or at least are not, really focused and really thinking. Okay? Students always get confused because they see 9 minus 5 parentheses 6x minus 1. What do we do first for this question? What's our very first step? Distribute. Is always distribute. Okay? The reason that this is a tricky question is because a lot of students say, oh, 9 minus 5, that's 4. And as soon as you say 9 minus 5 is 4, and that's my first step, you're wrong. The question's wrong, you're doomed. You will not get it correct. Okay? What we need to do is recognize that this 9 minus 5 is not distributing, and we have to distribute first. So, what number are we going to distribute? Now, I like that you said negative 5. We're going to distribute a negative 5. Okay? Ignore the 9. Distribute a negative 5. 1, 2 little arrows. What is negative 5 times positive 6x? Let's use Desmos. Negative 5, shift 8, positive 6. You're correct. Negative 30. And we need a letter on that, x. It always seems to be the second term that gets messed up. What's negative 5 all the way times the second term? It's going to be positive 5. The reason it's going to be positive is because 2 negatives makes a positive when you're multiplying. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. So we got positive 5 here. Now, we're going to go all the way back, and we're going to think about this 9. And when we bring this 9 down, is this a positive 9 or a negative 9? It's a positive 9, right? It just looks like a plain old 9. So when you bring it down, make sure that a positive 9 is the one that comes down. Now, we've already, the only important difficulty here is do the distribute first. There's nothing else that's adding difficulty to us. We're going to combine the 9 and the plus 5. What's 9 plus 5? Might even just be able to use your fingers for that one. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, bring down our negative 30x. So, again, the only important part here, the only reason that I think that this is a tricky question is because of our one rule, distribute first. You got to distribute first. All right, last question on the warm-up. Are we good with 3? All right, the very last one here. What do we see with question number 4? I see parentheses and more parentheses. Parentheses means I'm going to have to distribute, and I see 2 sets. That means I'm distributing the 4 and the negative 2. It's going to be 2 separate sets of distributing. For my first part, I'm going to draw arrow, arrow, and then it's almost like a left and a right. Here's my left side, and here's my right side. On the right side, arrow, arrow. Okay, so I'm going to treat these as 2 separate halves. Once we get down, then we'll combine them. So looking at the left first, 4 times negative 8. Make sure we get our negative sign right. 32. Negative 32 is correct. And the next one is going to be 4 times positive 7. Nice job. Again, you can just use Desmos. 4, shift 8, 7, 28. Okay, 28. There's my distributing for the left. Now look at my distributing for the right. Negative 2, negative 5 multiplied together. Negative 2 times negative 5, 10. Which is 10. And it's always the second one that gets messed up. Be careful, especially with negative signs. What is our second term going to be? It is going to be negative 6x. Nice job. So I've got my left and I've got my right. Now let's look at all of it together. It looks like I have negative 32x plus 2,810 minus 6x. I'm going to need a nice plus sign in here to keep that 28 and 10 separated nicely. And now I'm going to look to combine like terms where I can. Give me 2 matches.
Negative 32a.
You're correct. And when I combine those together, coefficients only, no letters, negative 32, negative 6. Desmos says negative 38x. And then I have one more matching pair, 28 and 10. 28 and 10. Yeah, interestingly enough, we have negative 38x plus 38. Kind of a weird number, 38, but you know what? Sure. All right, we've crushed through the warm-up. We've done these 4 questions of distributing. There's only one rule. Distribute first. Remember, number 3, I locked it down as an important question because students who are a little just not quite locked in, they accidentally combine first, and that will never, ever, ever work. PEMDAS. All right, that's it for the warm-up.